Whether you are talking with friends, joining meetings, or ordering food in a restaurant, these 20 expressions will help you communicate more effectively and confidently. All right. Mastering these phrases will not only improve your language skills, but also boost your confidence. With just a little practice, you'll be able to handle everyday situations smoothly and express yourself more clearly. Okay. Are you ready to take your English to the next level? Get your pad, get your pencil, and let's jump right in. Today's topic is Master Everyday English Conversations with these 20 essential phrases. And of course, as always, it's brought to you by Mastering English Communication. Let's start with the classic greeting, and one that also shows genuine interest in someone's well-being. The classic greeting is, "Hey, how are you?" It shows interest, right? It starts a conversation. It's perfect for initiating casual conversations with friends, colleagues, or acquaintances. And then from a cultural perspective, it's universally recognized in English-speaking countries as a friendly conversation starter. Hey, how are you? And what's the response? Well, there's a simple, polite response to, "Hey, how are you?" or "How are you?" And you can adjust it to match your mood, such as, "Hey, I'm great, thanks," or "I'm okay, thanks." This versatile phrase works in both casual and formal situations. So it's a great phrase to be comfortable using. It's essential for everyday conversations. Now let's look at getting to know someone. In a professional setting, getting to know someone, you can ask a question such as, "What do you do for work?" You may be at a networking event or something like that. And you do that, or you ask that to learn more about their career path and professional interests, right? You're looking to share and go back and forth, starting the conversation. Then, from a personal interest perspective, you can try, "So, what do you enjoy doing in your free time?" And this is great to help discover hobbies and or other interests a person may have. And then if you're talking or you want to understand more about their educational background, what did you study? Right? You could be talking about university, graduate school, doctoral, doesn't matter. But what did you study? Next, we have introducing your profession. You want to keep it simple. "Hey, I'm a such and such. I'm a project manager," or "I'm a graphic designer." You're answering the question of what do you do for a living in this case, right, as an example. It's a very concise way to share your professional identity in networking situations or casual introductions. If you want to add more context, you can follow with, "I work at ABC Computer Company," or "XYZ Financial Services Firm," or "any other pharmaceutical firm," or "any other industry, company, organization," as appropriate. And you can offer additional details. I help clients with their financial planning if you had introduced yourself as working at a financial services or banking firm or some other type of firm related to financial services. You're adding more context there. Now, so far, if you're finding this content useful, we'd appreciate it. Please give us a like. Thanks. Next, maybe you're trying to connect based on the culture. You might be in an environment where people are from different countries, right? But they're using English as the language to conduct business or the social interaction. So you can ask, "Where are you from?" Okay? You're asking this to learn more about someone's background or culture. You can also use a phrase such as, where did you come from originally? I many times will ask this question when I'm speaking with someone that if I'm in the USA, because I'm from the USA, if I'm in the USA and someone has an accent from somewhere, I may ask, where are you originally from? Right. Now, they may have an accent, even though I understand that they've been in the United States for quite a long time, or may even be a citizen. Right. So the issue is, I just want to understand more about them. And, or which city do you live in? Now, it may not have anything to do with the country per se, but you just want to find out more. Which city do you live in? So when you're asking and answering questions like this, it's not just about business, but it can be, but it's across the board, business and cultural. It helps you connect with other people. These are non-threatening questions that will cause prompt someone sharing a bit more information about themselves, which opens the door for you to share a bit more information about yourself. Next, we have expressing your opinion. Okay. And we're going to look at it as agreement or disagreement. So in this case, I agree. It means agreement, very simple, right? It shows that you are in alignment with someone's perspective. You can strengthen this phrase or these phrases with, oh, I completely agree with that. That's exactly what I think. You've made an excellent point. Right? So these are natural parts of conversations that can show agreement. Disagreement. I disagree expresses a different viewpoint, but it may sound a little harsh depending on the circumstances. So you can soften these phrases or this phrase with phrases such as, I see things differently. I have a different opinion. I understand your point, but, and then you add more context. So these phrases are crucial for expressing opinions and engaging in discussions. They allow you to participate actively in conversations while clearly stating your position on various topics. Now let's look at asking permission politely. And the categories we're going to look at are request permission, seek advice, respect time, and value expertise. So if you're requesting permission, a polite question is, can I ask you something? Or you can also say, do you mind if I ask you something? These are very common phrases in English. Right? Or if you're seeking advice, do you mind if I get your opinion? Or can I get your opinion on this? Using this phrase before asking a question demonstrates good manners and consideration for others. Being respectful of time. Do you have a moment to discuss this? Do you have a moment to discuss this? Very respectful. And then valuing expertise. Could I benefit from your experience? It shows respect and value for the person that you're asking the question of. Next, we have expressing emotions. You could be ecstatic, right? Hey, I'm absolutely thrilled. Or, as another example, I'm thrilled about this news. You're absolutely ecstatic. Or you're happy. I'm really pleased about this. Or you're upset. I'm quite disappointed. I'm really disappointed in that decision. And then, of course, if you're angry, it could be, I'm really frustrated by this. Notice that you're still being polite, but you're clearly communicating how you feel. If you're ecstatic, I'm absolutely thrilled. If you're happy, I'm really pleased about this. If you're upset, I'm quite disappointed. But if you're angry, I'm really frustrated by this. Now let's look at planning future meetups. You want to do a coffee catch up or have a coffee and catch up or catch up over coffee. We say all of those, right? And a simple question could be, we should grab coffee soon. Works perfectly for casual, short meetings with friends or colleagues. Very non-threatening. Uh, shows a desire just to catch up and talk. Specific planning. Let's plan to meet up next week. This as a time frame, making the suggestion more concrete. And a friendly goodbye. Let's catch up soon serves as both a warm closing and an expression of interest in continuing the relationship. Starting Monday conversations. You open with interest. How was your weekend? Perfectly legitimate way to start a conversation with a colleague that you're seeing in the office or in some business conversation after the weekend, and it's Monday. You can ask for specifics. What did you do this weekend? Or you can check on the enjoyment level. Did you have a good weekend? And some of the variations are, what did you do this weekend? Or did you have a good weekend? Especially useful in a workplace setting on Monday mornings for obvious reasons. But it also invites the other person to share their experiences and often leads to discovering common interests or activities. You may have uh, done the same thing, but in different locations, but you didn't know each other had an interest. Maybe you both went skiing that weekend, or you both played golf that weekend, or you did something else that weekend that was similar, and now you know you have something in common in terms of interest level. Next category is expressing gratitude. A simple thanks is, "Hey, you know what? I'm really grateful for your help." Or specific appreciation. "I appreciate your support with the project." Or heartfelt gratitude. You're really showing that you are grateful for whatever this other person has done. I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done. So if you're an English speaker, this is really conveying that you are not just simply, hey, thanks, but I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done. All right. So you're very, very thankful. And some other phrases you might use would be, I appreciate your support, shows gratitude and acknowledges others' contributions, but also strengthens relationships and creates a positive atmosphere. So these are great for that. So responding to thanks the proper way. You're welcome, right? It is a formal response, it's traditional, and it's polite, suitable for most situations. I'm having trouble thinking of a situation it wouldn't be suitable for, right? Casual alternative would be no problem. I don't use this one, but it is very often heard. People will say no problem. I guess it would, there are other equivalents in other languages, but it offers a more relaxed way to acknowledge someone's thanks. Or warm reply. It was my pleasure. So in this case, it adds warmth and shows you enjoyed helping. And then offering a little bit more, hey, anytime. It was my pleasure. Anytime indicates your willingness to help again in the future. All of these are polite and acceptable. So this is a little chart about uh, just a different view when you're seeking clarification. And the chart just shows the difference in when they're used or how often they're used, rather. So one would be, can you explain that? You might often hear, or more often hear, could you give me an, or Could you give me some additional information, or could you give me a another example, something of that nature? Can you clarify that? That's you will often hear that one used as well. Once again, polite, both in obviously in business, but it could be in certain social situations as well. You can also say, well, I'm not really following um, what you're saying. Can you give me a different example or a little more information? Uh, Now, this doesn't has nothing to do with English as a second language. English speakers themselves have to ask this question of one another. And then on the bottom, what do you mean by that? Right. So this is not impolite, right? Unless you use a tone that makes it impolite. But you're just simply asking, once again, you're seeking clarification. So here are 5 ways to seek clarification, 5 phrases to use. Sharing perspective. You want to start with a signal phrase. And a signal phrase is, in my opinion. This alerts the listener that you're about to share a personal viewpoint. Express your thoughts clearly. Follow with your perspective using clear and concise language. Provide some supporting reasons. Explain why you hold this opinion with examples or evidence. And then, of course, show that you are open to other views. Acknowledge that others may see things differently. If you follow this pattern, this will show respect, interest, and your ability to share your perspective. Now we're looking at making social plans. Casual meetup, let's grab coffee sometime, or a meal together. We should have lunch next week. We should have dinner next week. Let's have a breakfast meeting next week. Yeah, it could be anything. Shared activity. If you're free, let's go see that new exhibit. And then future planning, you know what? Let's plan a trip together, or let's plan a dinner together, or let's plan something together. So, casual meetup, meal together, shared activity, future planning. Just 4 areas of making social plans that are very respectful and polite. Next category here is extending invitations. So you have a formal invitation. Would you like to join me for dinner? This phrasing is polite and appropriate for more formal situations or when inviting someone you don't know well. Casual invitation, a little different. Do you want to grab a coffee? This is a more relaxed version, works well with friends and in informal settings. And then a group invitation. Would you like to come to our gathering this weekend? Perfect for including someone in a pre-planned event. So once again, versatile phrases that takes the other person's interest into consideration and gives them the opportunity to accept or decline comfortably and politely. Next, we have expressing concern and interest. I'm worried about. Now, we use this phrase to show concern or empathy. You might add additional details. Uh, I'm really concerned about the deadline. I'm worried about what might happen next, right? Or any variations of these. You're showing concern. You're showing interest. That's really interesting. You use this to show that you're engaged and you want to hear more. You could also say, hey, that's fascinating. Or I never knew that, right? These are great ways, polite and encouraging ways to engage in the conversation. demonstrating that you're actively listening and valuing what the other party has to say. And then sharing enthusiasm and closing conversations. So express enthusiasm. I'm excited about. Share your positive energy by continuing with specifics such as, I'm really looking forward to next week's event, or I'm thrilled about this opportunity. This shows enthusiasm and it communicates it very politely, respectively, but clearly to the other person. And then, of course, end on a positive note. It was great catching up. Right? That concludes the conversation warmly. Other options could be, it was really nice talking to you, or I'm glad we had a chance to catch up. And then looking to the future, combine both by saying, I'm excited about seeing you again, or I'm excited about seeing you soon. It was wonderful catching up today. Right? So sharing excitement, building connections through positive energy, and a warm closing leaves a good impression and sets the stage for future interactions. So there you have it. Essential phrases to transform your everyday English conversations. The secret to mastering them is regular practice, active listening, and I have videos that I talk about active listening, right? Uh, Contextual adaptation, and share your progress. So please do like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. It helps us help you. And see you next time as we continue our linguistic adventure together. Take care, everyone.